Greetings, EDDBUD here, and today I'm back with my 100-mile review of the Nike Air Zoom Tempo Next Percent. It's your favourite shoe enthusiast and midsole foam fancier here. This time reviewing a shoe I picked up back in September of 2020, the Nike Air Zoom Tempo Next Percent. So this strange shoe clocks in at 308 grams in my UK size 11, US size 12, for those that like ounces. It's 10.9. I found the shoe true to size. Many people ask me this question in the comments. It's definitely true to size. Also, make it clear I purchased this shoe with my own Earth credits. So basically, if you haven't been here before, that means I purchased it with my own money. This isn't sponsored, no one sent this to me before release or anything like that. No need for me to say nice things about it because I've got no apple carts to upset. If you want falsehoods, you're in the wrong place. Upper first. No wear or tear here. This upper's really like a glove to my foot. It's almost like chainmail, the Flyknit at the front here. Quite coarse, but I found the shoe incredibly comfortable over my 100 miles. Upper's certainly quite light and locks down exceptionally well over the top of your foot. Easy street stuff here, foot in, cinch the laces up, tie them and forget. I've never had to mess around with the lacing in this shoe, not even once. Due to the less rigid nature of this shoe, I found that lockdown wasn't quite so important as it has been in other shoes like the Endorphin Pro, for example. You need to make sure you got a good lockdown in that one. It's such a rigid midsole. Heel lock here, superb. I didn't even have a mile of any sort of torturous discomfort or pain, nothing. Every mile's been a joy. Those of you who like to try and keep your running shoes clean for whatever reason, it's actually one that you can clean very easily, actually, just using some household implements. You know, I don't really like leaving these things in the glass case, so I get out and beat them up. As you've seen, they've got very, very muddy from time to time. It's certainly held up really well in terms of upper. I can't really find anything wrong with it whatsoever. I'm going to give it 3 out of 3 for upper after 100 miles. Midsole now. I have noted that the shoe has gotten a little less rigid over time. I think it was probably the first maybe 10 to 15 miles it started to loosen up a bit, and it just got better and better after that. I think if you're in the market for a daily trainer, still not really the one to go for, but it's certainly got more and more usable over time. Even the react here in the heels just softened up a little bit. You can almost feel it like a spring. If you're coming down on your midfoot, it almost compresses and pushes you back up again. And I don't think it's for everybody, but I've really enjoyed it. This here is a shoe that I've certainly enjoyed training in. Certainly higher paced efforts, it's absolutely tremendous. I've produced some of my fastest mile times in this shoe. Maybe even some intervals then. It could work. The ZoomX, of course, has compressed a little bit in the midfoot and the forefoot. You would expect that, but I think it's deteriorated in a much slower fashion than I thought it would. The AirPods still feel superb. If anything, they kind of work a little better now that the shoes become a little less rigid, it's a little softer. Or is it that I've just become more accustomed to them? I don't know. I first got the Alpha Fly back in March, so I know how this type of shoe feels, and this one's just got better. Actually, if anything, I think that I've been enjoying running in this shoe more than the Alpha Fly. To me, this really is the dark horse of Nike's running shoe lineup right now. And I'm going to go out and say it, that this is the best Nike running shoe on the market at present. Maybe apart from the Streak 7, but you can't really buy that anywhere now. The weight, though higher than a lot of Nike's other Zoom Fly iterations, isn't really that noticeable on foot. As I say, I've worn these for some of the fastest, most enjoyable miles of my training over the last 4 months. In terms of the midsole foam, the Tempo Next Percent's always left my legs feeling thirsty for more after every run, and I think the inclusion of that crushed ZoomX insole within the Tempo Next Percent really adds to that feeling. Just a little extra comfort there. Although be careful if you are going to remove them, because I have seen mine fall apart a little bit when I have had to remove them to clean the shoe up. I would recommend though to try Innovate's, I think they're called the Boomerang insoles. I think I've got that right. Try those out inside this shoe because they made it even better. Those are exceptional additions. Go and check them out on Innovate's website. In terms of midsole, I think this shoe could soldier on for many miles to come, and I'm certainly going to stick with them in terms of comparison against other tempo shoes. These set really high benchmarks, so I think it's a good sort of yardstick. Personally, I think this shoe's actually held up better than the Endorphin Speed. That one really did start to lose its rigidity, and I just find this to be a more propulsive shoe. I think the speed was good, pretty consistent, and tailed off a little bit towards the end of my testing, where this one's just got better and better. I can't help but enjoy this shoe for high speed training. Perhaps not the most versatile of shoes on the market right now, I can understand that. I think the speed's probably better at a range of different paces, but excellent in its own right. I'm going to give this a 2.8 out of 3 for midsole after 100 miles. Just quickly before we get to the next part of the video, if you're enjoying the video today and you want more running shoe content, please do hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch those new videos. Outsole now. So some quick initial wear has really leveled off in the midfoot and forefoot section of the Tempo Next Percent. No cracking, tearing or splitting of this rubber here, although I have seen some people with that problem. And there's absolutely zero detectable wear back here in the rear of the shoe. Just a tiny bit of detectable wear there in the midfoot, just at the very front of those AirPods. These grip brilliantly on road and tarmac. These are my trading estate destroyers. Even on some light trails actually, these worked out really well. On gravel, they performed admirably. Now, some people have had issues with the rubber tearing just behind the AirPods here. I'll throw a couple of images up on screen for my good buddy Mark Burton. He's thoroughly enjoyed his though. I think they're about 170 miles now. I think that problem has appeared to hit some of the Nike by You custom versions of the shoe more than the retail versions. As I say, I've got no tearing whatsoever here. These have held up brilliantly, really. I mean, if I clean them properly, they look almost brand new. Hard to fault a shoe with cross-terrain grip and very little wear at 100 miles, really. As such, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3 for Outsole after 100 miles. Value now. £169 I felt when I initially reviewed the shoe that value was possibly its weak point. But I've changed my mind a little bit about that now. I think its more niche nature might put a few people off from trying this one out, and I feel people's expectations about this shoe overtook its actual purpose really when it first appeared on the scene. A lot of people picked it up expecting it to be this replacement for the Pegasus Turbo line. It really isn't that at all. It's very much a training partner for the Alphafly. So I think if the Alphafly works for you, this is an ideal, very durable training partner for it. I urge you all to look past the loud outsole. I don't think it's that loud really. And the too heavy comments and focus really on what its intended use is. An exceptional and very functional upper. The brilliant combinations of foams here, I mean, it's providing a lot of rear foot protection, midfoot cushion and propulsive AirPods. The outsole will handle most settings aside from mud and this little wear at this point. Yes, it's a higher price, but it's holding up exceptionally well at this stage, and as such my appreciation of its value has gone upwards since when I first tried the shoe out. Certainly a worthy addition to my shoe collection, and one which never fails to deliver in terms of performance. Always an exciting ride, and it's helped me train. On some harder sessions of recent times, I've seen my mile times fall and my perceived effort decrease as well. I'm going to give this a 2.7 out of 3 after 100 miles for value. Only really lowered by the fact that it's taken me a little longer to get there, mainly due to the more focused use case of the shoe. So if I've added up the scores correctly, that gives us 11.5 out of 12 after 100 miles for the Nike Air Zoom Tempo Next Percent. I believe that makes this one of the highest scored shoes of all time on the channel. What are your views on this very divisive shoe? Let me know in the comments below. A quick musical interlude for you. I don't know what it is right now, but I've really moved back towards Kurt Vile and Neil Young. Some of their longer jams. I really like those drawn out, atmospheric guitar tracks. Really been helping the training as well. I hadn't listened to music while I was out running for some time, but I've really got back into that again recently. One such album is Bottle It In by Kurt Vile. Bass Ackwards is just brilliant for those longer runs. You can really get into the zone. You just forget about what's going on, just concentrating on what's ahead of you. Really helps you to stick to those paces that you're aiming for. I absolutely love Kurt Vile's cover of the track Rolling With The Flow though. That is just perfect. Really fits his whole style as well, his vocal delivery, and you can hear his jag on there as well. A beautiful Fender Jaguar sound. The title track, Bottle It In, as well, is another real winner on this album. Just so mellow and chilled out and calming, relaxing. Exactly what I need right now. Apart from when I want to run really fast, and then it's got to be Angus and Malcolm. So go and check this one out from 2018, Bottle It In by Kurt Vile. Right, cats and kittens, it's time for me to rock and roll out of here. Loads of shoes incoming. It's going to be an exciting time. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch those new videos. And it really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you